Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. So please sign your pledge to never drive distracted by leaving a dislike on this video. I want to get at least 1 million signatures on this video. So earlier today, two planes had collided in Atlanta airport, and judging by what I saw, what it looked like, I'm guessing pilot distraction is going to come into play. The scene looks very familiar to me. I used to drive distracted a lot, many years ago. It was never texting, believe it or not. But I used to have a binge eating problem, and I could care less about making a mess in the driver's seat. Part of the reason I corrected my binge eating habit was that there was a time when I lived out of my car, and my car became really nasty due to my binge eating problems. Um, and I used to daydream behind the wheel as well. That's how I got into two accidents. I've been clean for 8 years now. But I want to point out something. I used to have an office at Phoenix College that really overlooked part of the street. So I would see accidents at least once a week. Now, the street in front of Phoenix College, I'll let you Google it. It's called Thomas Road. It's one of the most boring streets in the world, and yet people find a reason to get into car accidents. One time, 3 cars collided, if I remember correctly. You really have to be distracted to get into an accident there. We're talking stoplights. It's 25, 30 miles an hour. We're talking, there's just not a whole lot to see. It's not a place where you have to make a turn or anything where you could get lost. No. And yeah, people find excuses to get into accidents there. I would love to see. It's too bad that you don't get to see what happened in the moments before the accident, right? Uh, Hopefully, eventually, more people will be using self-driving cars, and the cars will be recording what's going on and all that. Although, if they're self-driving cars, there wouldn't be such a thing as distracted driving anymore, right? Maybe programming errors, distracted programming of the self-driving car, maybe, right? You won't be able to see that either, right? The moment that somebody forgets to type in a semicolon, what were they distracted with, right? Well, I wonder if we'll be talking about that 10, 20 years from now, right? But you really have to be distracted. And I'm thinking to myself, these people who were texting in the seconds before the accident, they were eating or drinking, they were doing whatever, right? Um, Now they have this accident and they have all these things to deal with, right? They got to get their car repaired, they got insurance claims to make. Hopefully they didn't get hurt, but if they did, they got to go get treatment for that, right? And just the fallout of that, right? When all they had to do was to spend whatever number of minutes it took to safely get from A to B, right? It just blows my mind every time I think about that, right? Now, I haven't caused an accident for 8 years, but I've been rear-ended a few times, especially ever since COVID. Actually, yeah, 3 times I got rear-ended happened after COVID. I don't know why. People are so distracted. I think that they want to take their mind off of the COVID news. They want to text their friend. They want to binge eat and all that. I wonder how much weight people have gained in the 4 years since COVID. Obviously, people were gaining weight long before COVID. I want to see how much that trend has accelerated since COVID. I wonder if we have statistics on that. I would imagine it's a lot. Certainly, car accidents have accelerated a lot. But every time I've gotten rear-ended, even though it was not my fault, I often blame myself. And I often think, gee, now we have to deal with all this hassle getting the car repaired, insurance claims. I wasn't hurt in any of them, but now I got to. There were 2 of the times I was living out of my car. And so now I had to go pick up a rental car and move everything into the new car and then move everything back when it's all said and done with. Now I got to deal with all that. Can we just rewind like 2 minutes before when this accident happened? That's always the first thought on my mind. And if it's the first thought on my mind that after an accident, why don't we think about it before the accident? Or before that, how about we spend those 2 minutes driving without distraction before it gets to that point, right? So now we got a pilot who might lose his job over a distraction. All these all these passengers are now late for whatever they were doing. And all that just because you wanted to check a 30-second text string. Can we think about that before it comes to that? This is the Peter Dislike Show. Bum, 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum, 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 bum.